The smoke rose from the abyss like the smoke from a gigantic furnace, and the sun and the sky were darkened by the smoke from this fiery, bottomless pit.
What are you talking about, Detective?
They're coming.
This is...
Hey, pendejos!
Okay, so tell us about the cartel. Obviously, we've only really just heard about it. You kept it under wraps, and it's Call of Juarez but made modern, right?
Yeah, that's true. We moved the franchise to a modern setting with this game. So this is a game set in contemporary USA, and we go on a road trip to Mexico of sorts over the campaign. We of course want to keep the fans of the franchise happy, because we are great fans of the Western. We have a lot of experience creating it, but we also want to make it
Okay, so we've just seen you've got 3-player co-op. First, tell us about the characters. You've got the three characters, and then about how the co-op's going to work.
Yeah, so the protagonists of our story are first Ben McCall. It's an LAPD detective. We want him to be the spiritual successor to Ray McCall from previous games. So he's a badass cop, he's a war veteran.
Eddie, you're an asshole.
Hey, I didn't know they were gonna waste the little bitch.
He's a very accomplished and competent DEA agent, but his weak spot is gambling, so he always needs some money to cover his old debts and creates an FBI special agent. She's a rising star in the bureau, and she's only learning how the real world really works. So there will be some friction between especially her and Ben, but not only then. And she has some dark past that she needs to hide in order for her career to flourish. So those are the 3 characters that you will be able to play, and they are all very much main characters. So whenever you play co-op, you always feel like you're also the hero of the story, not just support for one main character.
Okay, and that story is they're going after a Mexican drugs cartel, is that right?
Yeah, that's true. So so there are many casualties among the officers and officials, and the more radical elements in the U.S. political scene are calling for a final resolution of the drug violence problem, so a military intervention in Mexico. But obviously the Mexican government wouldn't like that. So to avoid an act of war, as a last-ditch effort, the Deputy Attorney General creates this special team of those 3 individuals, and it's intentional that each one is from a different agency, because the risk of infiltration is very high, of course, so they don't want to give the control over the investigation to just one.
And I saw a pale horse, and he who sits upon it, and his name is Death. And he has a bullet with your fucking name on it.
So you start in LA, and then you move wide open spaces, you have forest areas, and we will try to give something different to the players in each of them.
Okay, let's talk about how it plays. It's still an action shooter, of course, and you've got drop-in, drop-out co-op. Is that right?
From one perspective, and then you really should try and play the others to see that the events might not have been what they seem.
Heads up! Fuck! Now you know! What am I supposed to do? Aim for the windows! Maybe you'll scare them off! What? Shoot, goddammit!
Okay, last of all, what would you say to Call of Juarez?
That's great. We have the same creative team working on it, with some extra support from Ubisoft and from new technology.
Let's grab him while he's still breathing.
Call of Juarez The Cartel is coming out in summer 2011 for PC, PS3 and Xbox 360.
Who's praying now?
Who the fuck are you?
The police.